It is the 14th of sun's dust, Forthera, year 195. And on this morning, residents awaken to a cold front passing through the rift as the storm brings heavy snowfall throughout the entire region. A rarity for the rift, but not too uncommon for certain parts of Skyrim. For most shops decide to stay closed for the day because of the storm. Even the new popular brothel will be closed for the night, as residents are advised to stay indoors for the rest of the day. But Mistvale Keep continues to their normal operating procedures, as it will take more than a snowstorm to halt their daily patrols. For the Riften Court is about to receive some very interesting news soon. And so, we continue our story.
Your Majesty, Whiterun banners have been spotted on the northern roads escorting a chariot. They are heading in this direction, my lady.
A Whiterun chariot? That could only mean one thing.
Jarl Balgruuf. The man simply won't take no for an answer. Even in the middle of a snowstorm, the man makes it a point to speak his case.
This must be in response to the new Ivarstead lumber tax rate that we imposed. How do you wish to proceed, my lady?
Well, I'm not too sure. I didn't expect he'd travel here to deal with this in person.
Jarl Layla, if I may. Balgruuf's unexpected arrival may be a golden opportunity to discuss certain economic growth in the Rift. With Ulfric's rebellion beginning to grow with each passing day, this could be the moment we've been looking for to secure relationships with Whiterun given their pivotal location in Skyrim.
You bring up an excellent point, Lady Black-Briar. If we can persuade Jarl Balgruuf to our interest, then perhaps the outcome of this rebellion won't drain the resources of the Rift and its people. Lady Maven Black-Briar, as a well-informed and prestige member of our community, I value your input greatly. How do you think we should proceed?
We should assemble a welcoming committee at once, my lady. Perhaps our new Thane and his housecarl should be the ones to greet them upon arrival.
Great idea, Lady Black-Briar. We should have Thane Aaron and housecarl Iona greet our neighboring guests. Thane Aaron, housecarl Iona, are you clear on what to do?
Absolutely, my lady. We'll see to it at once. Ready, housecarl?
Yes, sir.
Aaron and Iona leave in preparation to greet the incoming Whiterun guard that's currently en route to Riften. And as they gather at the main gate, housecarl Iona notices something particular about her Thane.
Is it always this cold in these parts of Skyrim? I should have worn extra clothing today.
Looks like I figured something out about you, Thane.
And what's that, housecarl?
Any foreigner who's been in Skyrim for at least a year knows that snowstorms can appear from out of nowhere here. Meaning, you've been in Skyrim for less than a year, Thane.
You are quite a quick one, housecarl. Maybe someday I'll fill you in.
But just as housecarl Iona confirms what she knows about her Thane, Jarl Balgruuf of Whiterun arrives. And he does not look like he is here for casual conversation. Then Aaron and housecarl Iona greet the Jarl and his company as the Whiterun Jarl take a look around.
It's an honor to have you here, Jarl Balgruuf. Please, come with us to Mistvale Keep, where Jarl Layla Lawgiver is awaiting your arrival, sir.
And why isn't she here to greet me herself? She's a Nord. She knows our ways. Never mind that. Thane Tristor, see to our men immediately.
As you wish, my lord. Thane Aaron, the storm has caught up by surprise, unfortunately. My men need food and rest. Can you see to it that they are well replenished before our trip back to Whiterun?
Sure. I'll see to it that Riften's captain of the guard is informed of your needs. But I must see to it that Jarl Balgruuf is escorted to Mistvale Keep first.
Very well, lead on.
Then Aaron does as instructed and brings Jarl Balgruuf to Mistvale Keep, as House Carl Una sees to the Whiterun gods' needs. But Jarl Balgruuf of Whiterun has his own priorities to discuss as he enters Riften's court.
Jarl Balgruuf, what a wonderful surprise to have you here with us today. It's an honor to have you here in our court.
Jarl Balgruuf, it's been a long time. What brings you to our humbled hold, old friend?
Let's cut the pleasantries, Layla. We both know why I'm here. You ignored my couriers, you ignored my request, and look where I'm at now. You've raised your tax again on the lumber from Ivarstead. I've told you time and time before that my people depend on that wood for survival, and you go and raise the tax again? Have you gone mad, woman?
There's that Balgruuf charm that I've missed so much. As you know, Skyrim is divided right now, and as a leader, I must make sure that the Rift is prepared for what is to come. Our resources are limited, and I need to ensure that the citizens of the Rift needs are met first. But perhaps I could discuss lowering the tax back to its original rate for the citizens of Whiterun Hold if we knew where you stood regarding Ulfric's cause.
Damn it, woman. I stand where I've always stood, on the side of Whiterun. Tell me why that even matters. I thought I was speaking to the Jarl of Riften, not Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak and his rebellion.
It matters because I want you to be on the winning side when this is all over, old friend. And Skyrim's economic growth afterwards will depend on what we do, and who we align ourselves with.
How so?
If I may, Jarl Balgruuf. What Jarl Layla is trying to say is that there is no doubt much uncertainty associated with Ulfric and his rebellion. All of the holds of Skyrim will need to focus on rebuilding afterwards. And perhaps Whiterun will play a crucial role in that rebuilding. A role where I believe we can both benefit from economically.
Well said, Lady Black-Briar.
Lady Maven Black-Briar, I've received many requests from your business asking for permission to expand into my hold. But we will discuss those permissions when my court is ready to do so, Lady Black-Briar. My purposes today are for another reason.
I completely understand, Jarl Balgruuf. However, as I understand it, the weather prevents you from returning home today. How unfortunate. Since you have to stay the night, please allow me to see that my venues are well suited for your needs. I'm sure Jarl Lyla won't mind at all.
What is this, Layla? This is not what I came here to discuss.
True, but she has a point, Jarl Balgruuf. You're stuck with us tonight, whether you like it or not. So here's what I propose. Allow Lady Maven Black-Briar to present her venue of operations to you tonight at dinner to see if they could be a good economic fit for Whiterun. And I'll see to it that your lumber tax rate is restored to its original rate. How does that sound?
As much as it pains me to admit this, her plan would be most beneficial for our trip home. The men could benefit from the rest.
Very well, Jarl Layla and Lady Black-Briar. It appears that the gods went through a great effort to arrange this day. But make no mistake, Layla. I haven't agreed to anything yet.
I wouldn't expect anything less from Balgruuf the Greater. Anuriel, see to it that our guests are taken care of.
As you wish, my lady. Jarl Balgruuf, it is an honor to have you stay with us for the night. Please follow me and I'll get you set up in one of our suites for yourself and your entourage.
Very well.
And so, with little options left, Jarl Balgruuf the Greater decides to take Jarl Layla's offer to see for himself what services Maven Black-Briar can provide for the evening. For Maven Black-Briar has a plan to soon get a foothold of her well-known maid into Whiterun so that she can use that as a front for her other lucrative family business. But Maven must put on a believable act in order to win over Jarl Balgruuf's confidence for approval, and so Maven ensures that her top performers will be at tonight's dinner at Mistvale Keep. And it just so happens that one of Maven's top performers reside at Helga's bunkhouse, for what was supposed to be a simple day off has now escalated into an extravagant fount of power and resources. And so Lydia of Riften continues about her day, unknown to the dreaded news that is about to be delivered to her.
Ah, Maul. Is it that time already? You're kinda early, don't you think?
What? Oh, I'm here on business actually. Maven's hosting some very important clients tonight at Mistvale Keep, and needs Lydia to work tonight.
Oh, I see.
Maven also told me that make sure you give her the full treatment for tonight. Lend her whatever exotic dresses you own for tonight, and make sure she looks impeccable. Maven has a lot riding on this. I'm sure I don't need to tell you what happens if you disappoint her.
Sounds like a fun party. I'm glad I'm not going. I'll be sure to give Lydia my full treatment. Don't you worry about that. I'll make sure she is the most beautiful flower at the keep tonight.
Thanks. I should probably go break the news to her now. I'll come back around evening to bring her to Maven.
Guess I'll be seeing you soon then.
Maul, I wasn't expecting to see you today.
Sorry, Lydia. Seems like you're working tonight.
I thought that all the shops and stores were closed today because of the storm. Is that no longer the case?
Yeah, turns out some important folks from Whiterun are in town and Maven needs her top performers at Mistvale Keep tonight. And that means you.
Oh, I see. It must be very important to Maven if she's willing to host something like this in the middle of a snowstorm at Mistvale Keep. And as much as I would love to say no to Maven, I really can't do that now, can I?
No, not really. Oh, and another thing. Maven wants you to look your best, so Helga's gonna lend you some jewelry and fancy clothing for tonight's dinner at Mistvale Keep. There's only one client you need to impress. And Maven is all about first impressions when it comes to business. So be on your best behavior. I'll be back around at dusk to escort you to Mistvale Keep. Enjoy your time off while you can.
Thank you, Maul.
Oh, and sorry you have to work on your day off. I know this life can be rough. Just keep doing what you're doing and Maven will make sure you're well taken care of.
As Lydia watched Maul leave, she actually wondered if Maul felt a sense of sorrow for her, that perhaps her harsh line of work is beginning to make folks like Maul feel sorry for her, and that perhaps the goddess Mara has been listening to her prayers. And so Lydia returns to her book and follows the advice that Maul gave her and enjoys her remaining time off to herself, even if it is a small measure of peace. The snowstorm continues to blow through the rift as the evening hours begin to approach. Helga does as instructed by Maven Black-Briar and lends Lydia her most expensive jewelry and clothing for tonight's dinner.
So, about tonight. I think I have something that will wow the pants off anyone at this dinner party.
If I may ask, Helga, you seem to be a lot more suited for such things like this. Why didn't Maven ask you to go instead?
2 reasons, Lydia. 1, I can't have the citizens of Riften finding out about my past. 2, it's none of your concern. Now, if you're done asking questions, let's return to the topic at hand. This outfit is special. One of a kind, you see. It has a persuasion enchantment infused into the cloth. Although, once you see it, we will both agree that such an enchantment isn't really needed. Because believe me, any man or mer who sees you in this outfit will fall to their feet. And that's speaking from personal experience.
Yeah. It's best I not ask how you even came about such a piece of exotic clothing. But it's only for one night and for one client. So, I shouldn't need that much help. At least I hope so.
Helga continues to get Lydia ready for the dinner party tonight at Mistvale Keep, as Maul arrives at the allotted time to escort Lydia to her destination.
Oh, good. You're here and just on time. Try to keep your pants on when you see her.
Just bring her out already. We have places to be. By the grace of Shore. Is that even Lydia?
Hello, Maul. I'm ready to go to Mistvale Keep.
Damn woman. I mean, you look decent, Lydia. Not bad at all. I didn't even know Helga had something like this in her wardrobe collection.
Come on, Maul. Can't a lady have a little fun every now and then? This particular gift was from a former Dunmer priest who was a fan of my talents.
Sure, whatever. Lydia, it's time to go. We don't want to upset Maven.
As you wish, Maul.
Lydia holds her tongue once more, as she would love nothing more to tell Maven no, for once. But Lydia is well aware of the consequences of such an action, and so she does what she's told. Lydia bundles up for the evening as she steps outside, recalling memories of her early adulthood when she had to survive in the rat race. Sleeping in the most harsh conditions, as she gives thanks to Lady Mara for giving her strength to pull herself out from such poverty. And as they travel to Mistvale Keep, the snowfall begins to ease up a bit, as they begin making their way up to stairs. But just as they continue, Lydia pauses for a moment, as she comes to a realization that throughout all her life in Riften, Lydia has never stepped foot inside the capital palace of the Rift. A feat that she never cared for, as she never wished to be a part of this wicked line of work. But Lydia has no choice when it comes to the Black-Briars, and so she does what she must. Lydia enters the keep with Maul, as a popular bard can be seen entertaining the guest with his lute. But Lydia stays silent, as she sees many new faces in the room with many wondering eyes. New eyes that see the best of what Riften has to offer.
Ah, our evening finale has arrived.
This one is one of my top performers at the brothel. A new avenue of income that goes well with the meadery. One of the many sources of economic growth here in the Rift. A source of economic growth where I believe that Whiterun Hold would benefit from greatly. Wouldn't you agree, Jarl Balgruuf?
Brothels and meaderies. You have a strange way of growing an economy, Lady Black-Briar. Wine and women can only get you so far. But you've apparently done well for yourself. So who am I to argue with your results?
I would have thought that someone with your stature would have greater appreciation for wine and women, especially in these times. Lady Black-Briar, this one is one of your best performers, correct? I'm sure Jarl Balgruuf would love to see a demonstration of her talents.
But of course, my lady. You there. The Jarls would like to see a taste of your skills. Dance for the court at once.
As you wish, Lady Black-Briar.
Lydia freezes for a moment as she can feel all eyes in the room falling upon her. A moment of intense stress as she waits for the bard to position himself to play music. Lydia's body still remains frozen as the bard begins to play, fearful of messing up and facing the repercussions as she summons every ounce of courage within her. Lydia then puts her fears aside as she finally begins to move. For during her short time working at the brothel, Lydia has learned to dance by watching the other women at the Jester's Restaurant. And so Lydia puts aside any doubt as she continues to dance for the court. And as Lydia continued to dance, Jarl Balgruuf suddenly found himself intrigued by this unknown performer, as if the gods had blessed this woman with a divine purpose.
By the gods, she's remarkable. Who is she?
Like what you see, do you? Good.
I'm glad you find my workers up to your standards, Jarl Balgruuf. I'll arrange for a private showing just for you.
That won't be necessary, Lady Black-Briar.
Oh, please, I insist.
So Lydia concludes her performance as she exceeds expectations once more, for it appears that her work is not done just yet. As the dinner party ends, the Jarls retire for the evening as Jarl Balgruuf returns to his suite for the night. Meanwhile, Maven Black-Briar plans on making sure that Jarl Balgruuf doesn't forget this night as she approaches Lydia with more demand.
You performed well and to satisfaction so far. But your work tonight is not over just yet. You must give Jarl Balgruuf a private showing. Dance for him like you did tonight and bed him afterwards. Are we clear?
Wait, that man is a Jarl?
Not that I expect a whore like yourself to comprehend politics, but yes. That man is a Jarl. Jarl Balgruuf, the Greater of Whiterun. And I have several business propositions waiting on his approval, so I don't think I need to explain the importance of tonight to you now, do I?
I understand. I'll do my best, Lady Black-Briar.
No, whore. You'll do more than your best. You will pleasure him beyond his wildest fantasies. You'll do whatever he wishes of you, and then you'll do it again and again until he is completely drained of every drop within him. Are we clear on this?
Yes, Maven. Understood.
We're ready for her now. Is there a problem?
No, none whatsoever.
Come with me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
And so Lydia is brought back into the resting quarters of Mistvale Keep as she receives explicit instructions from Maven Black-Briar, for it would appear that Maven's business venues are now in Lydia's hands. And as she travels further into the keep, Lydia's eyes can't stop wandering around, as she's never seen such luxury before in her entire life.
First time in the keep, I take it?
Yes, sir. How did you know?
Just a lucky guess, I suppose. That, and you seem a bit nervous too. Trust me, you have nothing to worry about tonight. You'll be safe here.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
No need to call me sir. My name is Tristor. Nice to meet you, my lady.
My name is Lydia. Nice to meet you, too.
Lydia is almost startled by the Then's respectful words, as she's not used to experiencing kindness from strangers, especially in Riften.
Well then, I guess I don't need to tell you what happens if you try to harm the Jarl.
You'll have no trouble from me, ma'am.
Go easy on the lady, Irileth. She's just one of Maven's dancers.
Is that what you think she is? At any rate, the Jarl is expecting you. You may enter now.
Very well.
I don't like this.
It's only for tonight. Besides, the scenery here is quite nice.
Come on, Tristor. We both know you're not talking about the scenery.
What can I say? It must be nice being a Jarl.
Hello, sir. It's an honor to meet you.
I told Maven that such services weren't required for the evening. But she insisted. And now look at me. Tell me, who are you?
My name is Lydia. Lydia of Riften.
Lydia of Riften. Tell me about yourself.
I'm afraid there's not much to tell, sir. I never knew my parents. I grew up in an orphanage until I became of age and had to adapt to the streets of Riften quickly. But through Lady Mara's teachings, I was able to pull myself out of poverty and fend for myself. For her light is always within me, even in the darkest of times.
So it's Mara who's given you strength. I knew one of the gods had to be with you. There is something about you that I can't seem to shake off. It's as if the gods were guiding you tonight. There must be more to it than that.
I may be a devoted follower of Lady Mara, but tonight, I'm instructed to show you the Debellian arts. And that's what I'm going to do, sir.
Jarl Balgruuf suddenly found himself mesmerized as he stared at Lydia, as if he was drawn to her by a divine force that was cloaked around Lydia herself. But Lydia had strict instructions by Maven Black-Briar, instructions that would have severe repercussions if not met. And so Lydia does exactly what she's told as she begins to lure Jarl Balgruuf to her with her seductive dancing. For it would appear that Helga's enchanted dress would finally come into play as Jarl Balgruuf finds himself wanting more. The two forces then collide as Jarl Balgruuf suddenly finds his lips pressed upon his. It were as if the gods had laid him to this very moment. And so Lydia fulfills Maven's demand and gives Jarl Balgruuf the full experience. And experience like never before. Once finished, Lydia suddenly finds herself somewhat confused, for she has laid with many clients before, and her body usually becomes numb to block the memories, but this time it was different. She felt different. It were as if the gods had wanted her to remember this moment, to remember this man, as if he were meant to have purpose in her life someday. The thought makes Lydia uneasy as she quickly gets dressed and discards such thoughts, for tonight's job is done. And another client is satisfied.
Well now, that took longer than I thought.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were waiting on me. I can find my way home if you're tired, sir. It's late enough as it is.
Again, there's no need to call me sir. I'm a citizen of Skyrim just as you are, Lydia. Also, I don't know how they do things here in Riften, but in Whiterun we make sure our women are safe, regardless of what line of work they're in.
Is everyone from Whiterun as kind as you? Most folks here tend to look down on people like me.
Sorry, but I was raised different from that. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but I'm not a Nord. I may have been born and raised in Skyrim, but I'm a Breton. My father was a proud Nord from Whiterun, and my mother was a bard from Wayrest in High Rock. And the one lesson that stuck with me throughout my life is that you treat everyone with respect, no matter their occupation.
I see. I wish more people would follow that lesson in life. the world would be a different place. One not so bad.
That's enough about me. Come on, let's get you home. Otherwise, I'd just talk your head off.
Lead the way.
The night kept getting more intriguing for Lydia, as she's never seen a well-mannered gentleman before, as if there was a grander world beyond Riften. Perhaps a world that's not as cruel. The poet then does as he says, and escorts Lydia back to the bunkhouse.
As much as I love Skyrim, I'll never get used to the cold. Bretons can only endure so much before it starts affecting our personality.
Well, you know what they say, that Skyrim belongs to the Nords. Tell me, Tristor, what's High Rock like compared to Skyrim?
Not as cold as this, that's for sure. Although Johanna tends to see a fair share of snowfall throughout the year. Wayrest, on the other hand, is a marvelous city of the arts. It's where my mother went to become a bard. She now teaches there. And Daggerfall is the second largest city throughout all of Tamriel, although the rivaling crime syndicates tend to cause problems every now and then. It's still an ancient city with much history and lore tied to it. That's High Rock in a nutshell from a Breton with limited experience in his ancestry homeland. But as I said before, Skyrim is my home. What about you? Are you originally from here?
Unfortunately, yes. Riften is the only home I've ever known. Although I can't say for certain if I was born here as I was brought to the orphanage as an infant. Growing up here can be rough. I wouldn't wish this place on anyone. The only saving grace here is the Temple of Mara, for she has given me strength at my lowest points in my life, and continues to be the shining beacon of hope here in Riften.
I agree with you that the Temple of Mara is probably the best site here in Riften. But as far as Worst Hold in Skyrim, that title belongs to Winterhold. Those poor saps don't have anything. No temples, no infrastructure. Lousy mead. Even the College of Winterhold separates itself from the rest of Winterhold, which is most unfortunate, as the college is the only place of value in Winterhold.
I've heard of Winterhold, but never been there myself. Sadly, I've never left the Rift at all. But believe me, if I could, I'd leave this place and start over somewhere else.
Well, what's stopping you from leaving?
Let's just say certain employers won't allow that. I'm afraid I'm stuck here for a while.
Most unfortunate indeed, because there's an entire world out there waiting for you to experience it. I hope someday that you can experience it, Lydia.
Thanks, Tristor. I hope so too. Well, here's the bunkhouse. Thank you for walking me home, Tristor. I wish Riften had more gentlemen like yourself around. Perhaps this place wouldn't be so bad.
Probably. But I have a question for you, Lydia. If I may ask.
Sure, go ahead.
How did you get into your line of work? Sorry, I know it's none of my business, but you seem like a quick-witted and passionate individual. And I'm basing that off from how you danced tonight.
Well, to be fair, I never wanted to choose this line of work. And I learned to dance from watching the other girls at the brothel. Believe me, it's not a life that someone willingly chooses. In a way, this style of life chooses you. At least here in Riften it does. That, and Maven Black-Briar.
You learned to dance like that from watching other women dancing. Just imagine what you could learn if you wanted to do something else. You could be an archer, a mage, an alchemist, maybe even a warrior if you trained hard enough.
Me? A warrior? The whore from Riften? Nah, I don't think so.
Look, the point I'm trying to say is that you can choose what you do in your own life. Just because the gods dealt you a bad hand doesn't mean you have to stick with it. The Black-Briars can't control you forever. You'll have your moments someday to walk away. They'll eventually slip up sooner or later. And when they do, that's when you can start living the life you want to live. a life of your own choosing.
That's a nice idea. But you don't know the Black-Briars like I do.
Perhaps, but one can only hope. Anyway, it's getting late, and I don't tend to keep a lady out in the cold waiting. I should get going. It's been a pleasure, Lydia.
The pleasure's been mine, Thane Thristor. Good night.
Oh, one last thing. If you're ever in Whiterun, look me up. I get a feeling that you could use a guide to show you what you've been missing here in Skyrim. There's a whole world outside these walls.
If I'm ever so lucky, sure. Goodbye, Tristor. I do hope to see you again someday. Under different circumstances, of course.
You never know. See you around, Lydia.
And so the night comes to an end for Lydia as she steps inside the bunkhouse, experiencing the respect of a kind Breton who doesn't look down upon her, learning firsthand that perhaps she has the ability to shape her own destiny, if she so chooses. For Tristor's words just may be the motivation Lydia needs to hear for her to finally begin taking charge of her own life for once, and not of the Black-Briar's choosing. And so the Thane returns to the keep as they plan to depart at first light, ending their stay in Riften. And if there's anything certain about the events of this night, is that, perhaps, the gods are preparing Lydia for a role she is destined to be.